The Waitukubuli Entrepreneurs Levy equips 24 more young Dominicans for the business world. Stakeholders meet to strengthen Dominica's public health care system, and the government moves forward in implementing its national employment program.
Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Kimani. Stay with us for details of headline stories and others after the break.
If you can believe this.
Come by my house and let me show you some movies.
Why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Thanks for staying with us. 24 young aspiring entrepreneurs have been given the opportunity to gain knowledge that will help them create successful businesses. The Waitukubuli Entrepreneurs Levy has, for the 4th consecutive year, partnered with the Dominica Youth Business Trust to provide a week of business development mentorship to young Dominicans during Global Entrepreneurship Week. The retreat started on Saturday, November 16th and will run till Friday, November 22nd. Participants of the program are being introduced to a number of business skills, including accounting and cash management, marketing, human resource management, and customer service. They will also receive mentorship and motivational support from a number of successful entrepreneurs. The week will conclude with an official graduation ceremony on Friday, November 22nd at 11 a.m. at the Jungle Bay Resort. The group Waitukubuli Entrepreneurs Levy was established by a small group of Dominican businessmen and women to provide support to young persons wanting to start their own businesses. To date, over 100 young Dominicans have participated in the retreats, 30 of which have already started their own businesses. Waitukubuli Entrepreneurs Levy encourages the Dominican public to show support for the accomplishments of Dominica's young emerging entrepreneurs.
Residents of the Grotto Home for the Homeless may not have to wait much longer to be relocated to the new premises in Bellevue Royal. Work on the $2.5 million new Grotto Home facility, which began in 2012, is expected to be completed soon. Dominica's head of state, His Excellency Charles Savre, during a visit to the Grotto Home for the Homeless on Monday, told residents they will soon move to more comfortable living conditions.
I am very happy that on this occasion I am probably visiting this site as for the last time before you move to your new site. Hopefully next year at this time you will not be at this site, and that the visit will take us past Stock Farm into Bellevue Royal, where modern facilities are being constructed which will be much more comfortable than the facilities here at the old Dominica Club. So you, the staff, the board, I am sure, are looking forward to the completion of the new facilities at Bellevue Royal.
The president is anxiously looking forward to the day when the residents will live in the comfort of modern facilities at Bellevue Royal.
They will not just be facilities for you, because I think they will be reflective of the care that Dominica offers to its persons who are homeless and who require shelter and other services. So it will be a wonderful day for us in Dominica when this facility will be completed and you will have taken up residence in the new facilities.
The Grotto Home for the Homeless has been temporarily housed at the Old Dominica Club for the past 3 years. Meanwhile, on Monday, the President, through the President's Charities Foundation, made a financial contribution towards the operations of the Grotto Home. The President was accompanied by his wife and members of the President's Charity Foundation. The President, during his visit on Monday, also presented the home with floor. Director of Community Hostels Incorporated, Luce Jones, accepted the donation on behalf of the Grotto Home for the Homeless. She expressed thanks to the President for his visit and donation to the home.
Thank you to His Excellency for his visit as well as this kind donation. While we appreciate the donation, we are just as appreciative of the visit. It makes a lot of difference to our residents when persons come to visit them. And when the President comes to visit them, it makes a world of difference. I want to use that opportunity to invite you to visit us at any time.
His Excellency Savre is delighted that such contributions can be made to this institution. President Savre noted that this level of assistance will continue even when the home is relocated to Bellevue Royal.
For the President's Charity Foundation, we will continue to support the home here at the Old Dominica Club and certainly in your new facilities up at Bellevue Royal, because even when you move into your new facilities, there will still be challenges, and we will wish to be able to assist in any way that we can.
The President was given a token of appreciation for his support to the home. The President's Charity Foundation currently supports 19 organizations in Dominica.
In more news, the efficiency of the primary healthcare system was under review on Wednesday by persons directly involved in the sector. A national stakeholders consultation in primary healthcare commenced at the new Princess Margaret Hospital conference room, a joint collaboration between the Pan American Health Organization and the Ministry of Health. Opening the workshop was Dave Loda, public health specialist.
Today's consultation is geared at identifying the strength of the existing system, the weaknesses and barriers which exist, and provide recommendations to move the system forward. Please consider yourselves, therefore, as very privileged to be part of a process that will invigorate the primary healthcare system for another 25 years and beyond.
According to Loda, while numerous appraisals have been conducted, this review was done on a much more comprehensive scale. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Helen Royer, went into further detail of the importance of the consultation.
The consultation therefore aims at fostering critical country-level dialogue by you, the valued stakeholders representing civil society, government institutions, and non-government institutions. Why renewal of primary health care, you may ask? Like most of our Caribbean neighbors, Dominica faces changing demographic and epidemiological transition similar to that of developed economies. Chronic non-communicable diseases are now the leading causes of death, disability, and major illness. Based on the awareness of the combined effect of an aging population and the disease burden from treatment and prescription drugs, it is imperative that the Ministry of Health focus at the primary level, where the emphasis is on prevention and promotion, and this will necessitate a renewed primary health care approach.
Other reasons she listed included a new cost-effective approach, an enhanced ability to meet the demand on healthcare services, and compliance with the UN's Millennium Development Goals. The island's Director of Primary Healthcare Services explained further.
The Millennium Development Goals adopted in the year 2000 by 189 countries constitute a set of measurable objectives and goals aimed at addressing poverty, hunger, disease, illiteracy, the environment, and gender equality. Primary health care is the ideal framework for executing the strategies already in progress towards the Millennium Development Goals, given that they are based on the same principles and values: equality, solidarity, and social justice, and both encourage community involvement.
Facilitator and local consultant Jean Jacob presented results of previously conducted zonal workshops with public healthcare management teams of the 7 health districts. Those meetings serve to identify the failings and strengths of the public healthcare system.
We say we have 24-hour coverage, but the unavailability of 24-hour coverage by other disciplines within the health services, example pharmacists. I think they're called out, but they're not on call. So I think that came out from, now I'm presenting what the team said, right? This is one area. They also thought there was lack of specialization in key areas to provide a wider range of services at the primary care level. Example, in the area of nutrition, we're talking about chronic non-communicable diseases, obesity, and the like. And we're thinking that we need to have specializations in other levels, like nutritionists or nutrition aid and counselors.
She also noted a significant number of strengths in Dominica's public health care model.
The teams felt that there's an established primary care system, and it indicates that there's political will towards primary health care. We offer a free health service at the primary care level. There's 24-hour availability of health professionals, especially doctors and nurses. Specialization of trained personnel within the primary health care system. Availability of patient-based medical record, which is a good initiative. I shared with most of the teams the fact that I was at a regional workshop, and there was this doctor from Antigua who said that a patient from Dominica came into her practice, and she was so impressed because when the client came in, she had her exercise book, so she could review everything and she could treat that person effectively. So I think that was a good initiative, a home-based medical record, and the teams felt that as well, and the team approach to the delivery of primary health care.
By the end of the workshop on Wednesday, stakeholders would have identified gaps in the system and made recommendations to address them. We'll bring you more from that event in a subsequent newscast.
In more news, the Division of Agriculture, Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit is hosting 3 days of national consultations on draft international standards for phytosanitary measures. Member countries of the World Trade Organization base their sanitary or phytosanitary measures on international standards, guidelines, or recommendations set by the International Plant Protection Convention. The convention makes provision for the application of measures by governments to protect their plant resources from harmful pests. The Division of Agriculture is hoping that these consultations will increase awareness and knowledge to all border control organizations and related agencies on the island. The objective of these consultations is to review the implications of ISPMs at the national level and to provide comments and recommendations prior to adoption of reviewed standards of IPPC.
Every year, the IPPC, the International Plant Protection Convention, develop draft standards. And the IPPC mandate really is to protect plant parts and plant products from invasive species. And what they have done is, together with 178 countries, develop draft standards so countries can comment and review on this comment. The purpose of this meeting really is to bring stakeholders together, the private sector, customs, ports, and to review these draft ISPMs, because these ISPMs, once adopted, will have implication for national, regional, and international trade.
On Wednesday, November 20th, the movement of plants in international trade will be discussed. On Thursday, November 21st, the subject of discussion will be minimizing pest movements in sea containers. And on Friday, November 22nd, the management of a pest risk associated with movement of wood or timber will be discussed.
The overall objective is to see how best we in Dominica on a region and internationally minimize and of course to prevent the movement of pests and diseases. One would know that we have serious problems with black sigatoka, citrus greening, and there are others such as leaf-fall yellowing. There's a longhorn beetle that affects wood. So we are very much concerned with the invasive species and the exotic pests all around us, regionally and internationally. And that is why it's important that we bring stakeholders together to put measures in place and to see how best we can prevent pests and diseases from entering Dominica.
Border Control and frontline officers from Dominica Sea and Port Authority, Customs and Excise, Dominica Bureau of Standards, AICA, private sector importers, and officers of Ministries of Trade, Forestry and Agriculture will participate daily.
So Kimani, it seems that a lot of consultations are taking place, yes, all in an effort to develop systems that already exist on the island.
Yes.
That story about phytosanitary measures and conventions sounds a little bit complicated, but you attended or you discussed. So can you tell us what that was about? Okay,
so I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Ryan Ansel. I think he is the Plant Protection Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture. Basically, it is a consultation to review the standards set by the IPPC, which is the International Plant Protection Convention.
Okay.
It's a convention to do with the World Trade Organization. So basically, yearly they have standards that internationally is adopted to basically regularize the way in which the movement of plants, the movement of pests and diseases, basically to control these things. So every year, new standards or the standards that are already set, they are reviewed.
Okay.
So basically what Mr. Ryan Ansem and his team and all the persons that I mentioned previously, all the stakeholders, they were basically looking at the standards and discussing it, looking for loopholes, looking to see where they could make recommendations and so on before they send it back to the World Trade Organization. The deadline is December 1st. And when they send it back, and when all the other countries, I think 180 countries have reviewed it, made recommendations, then they can adopt the new standards that are set in that convention. Because basically when you're importing wood, you're importing vehicles, you're importing different things, plants, so diseases and pests, you know, get in and out of different countries. So these things need to be regulated.
Well,
basically.
that was very clear and concise. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you were at a health
consultation as well.
Yeah, so tell me about that.
All in the spirit of developing systems, the public healthcare system is under review. The persons directly involved in it, nurses, doctors, people in the medical field, they met today to look at basically the same, to look at loopholes, gaps, close gaps, make recommendations to improve things, to strengthen the strengths, and so on. And you may or may not have heard this, but Dominica's public healthcare system is actually being used as a model in other countries, because when it was first implemented, Dominica adopted it right away and sort of developed on it. So it's been used as an example. And yet we're still working on improving further. So it shows that improvement is always good. There's always room for change and for development. The director of PAHO, Dominican, Dr. Carissa Etienne, she made mention of that some time ago. And it was mentioned today by Nurse Jean Jacob, who is a leader in her field in public health care. So it shows that things are going on behind the scenes to improve things that have been in place for a long time. That's always good.
And that's all for the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with Creole Highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Discover Dominica Authority lancé programme jeudi. Ou là, vous avez gardé du vent pour faire touristes qui viennent à bord bateau, vivre Dominique et puis rester plus long, ça vous stay over visitors. Mr. Benoit Badwell, c'est chairman Discover Dominica Authority.
Nous avons un programme pour tous ces passagers qui viennent ici à cruise. Là, ils viennent ici pour vivre pour une vacances. Parce que ça nous voulait mener plus de monde Dominique. Nous voulons 90 personnes en l'année 2015 pour venir Dominique, pour rester dans l'hôtel, au guest house, et venir par avion pour par ferry pour en vacances à Dominique. Quand nous savons 300 000 personnes qui viennent par ces bateaux cruise là. So, nous voulons mettre des programmes ça, là nous avons 200 $ américains pour ça venir Dominique. Et puis ça qui est intéressé pour venir Dominique. So, nous avons dit, si on a 300 000 personnes qui viennent Dominique, si 1% de gens viennent pour vacances Dominique, ça c'est autant de monde. Avec nous pas même voir à présent nous avons trouvé 1% de monde pour ça. Mais si nous trouvons on 10 000 1%, c'est on va parler contre 15 000 monde. So, nous ça c'est un programme nous avons mettre en place pour nous savoir si nous avons trouvé plus de monde. Touristes qui viennent ici, bateau touristes, pour qu'ils viennent rester dans l'île.
À la nouvelle département quarantine qui a mis en place tapé bon standard, moun qui a mené marchandises rentrées en pays là. Vous pouvez joindre EPC Company Salah Cement Salam, mais de ces mises ça en place. Parole Salah sorti au chef département quarantine, M. Ryan Ansem.
Nous invitons private sector, moun qui a mené bagaille pour faire plan. Nous invitons agri-sales, moun qui custom pot, pour nous garder comment ça a affecté parce que standard là en draft ça nous le fait tout mener mon ensemble pour nous garder comment Dominique même ça implement standard ça là il est très important pour nous on ça créer une national position pour nous voir pour IPPC IPPC c'est International Plant Protection Convention là il y a nous standard qui est en forme draft. Nous pour garder comment il a affecté nous, et comment nous ça implémenté. So aujourd'hui là, demain, c'est vendredi, nous allons aller garder demain nous allons garder un standard pour faire avec container. Vous savez container qui est tout en la terre, avec container qui mène ici un risque pour mener maladie qui affecte les gens, qui affecte les plants, et affecte les bêtes. Vendredi, nous allons regarder qui a fait comment nous allons mener l'homme et bois en pays Dominique. So, c'est draft standard ça là bien important. Nous avons customs, nous avons port authority, nous avons private sector, nous avons fait business, nous avons mené ces bagages ça à monter, nous avons agriculture, pour nous regarder comment nous allons implémenter standard ça là avec qui raison nous pouvons faire pour empêcher maladie en Dominique.
Le gouvernement Dominique a invité l'application pour l'initiative travail qui va lancer le mois prochain. Parole cela sorti au ministre Employment, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre.
Pour taper travail pour tout le monde Dominique, tout le monde qui besoin de travail. Avec nous aller à tête, nous comment catcher, nous parler pour tous ces exports là à Dominique, nous pas parler de bit pour faire à Dominique. Nous pas parler de l'argent, nous pas sortir à l'autre pays. Nous ça oui nous sommes friends à l'autre pays, so nous qui parler pour acheter l'argent. Mais ça c'est une initiative à la gouvernement Dominique pour acheter travail pour jeunes monde Dominique, pour tout le monde Dominique. C'est des hommes qui viennent à décembre, nous avons launch programme ça est bien ouvert pour tout le monde, so nous avons parler pour tout jeune monde. Tout jeune monde, parce que jeune monde qui ni force pour travailler. Ça c'est femmes, ça c'est hommes avec monde qui ni force. Yo ça à tout à l'office à the financial center à c'est premier floor first floor avec yo qui aller là à the employment agency là avec yo qui mettez non yo là mettez qui place yo sorti avec yo qui mettez téléphone number à l'adresse so nous ça acheter yo because deuxième qui cabinet nous kai launch programme ça.
Et puis finalement, d'autres activités qui prennent place pour culminer l'activité semaine jeunesse. M. John Roach, c'est chef département jeunesse de la Dominique.
J'ai dit nous que nous avons une grande exhibition en dernier état là, état à terre en ministry building là. Là, tous ces jeunes gens qui ont fait business en Dominique, Fruit Dominica Youth Business Trust, qui ont ni bagaille les exhibitions avec les gens qui viennent pour gagner, les gens qui viennent pour garder bon travail jeunes gens qui fait. Vendredi, nous avons une closing ceremony pour semaine là en Jungle Bay avec Well, alors que Whitey Kubuli Entrepreneurs levé. Samedi, nous avons on joue les jeunes gens qui tout Dominique qui nettoyer ces plages là, qui nettoyer ces lives pour montrer qu'ils ont aimé pays, ils ont les chaînes pays net. So c'est ça qui est semaine là pour nous célébrer travail jeune monde et pour comment jeune monde qui contribue pour développement Dominique.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles Creole pour présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, c'est Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes, to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
In today's tip, we want to share a few points to help you become a successful entrepreneur. Choose something that is in line with your own personal interest and passion. Then it never seems like work, and don't be afraid to fail.
Also remember that it's critical to spend the time early on to hire the right people. If you're disciplined in finding the best and brightest people who are also team players, then management becomes much easier. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and your comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Kimani.
And I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for watching.